Oh, I see. Oh, very nice.
And these two friends.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Did you know this?
What is that? Govindakund? Oh, Radhakund. Shamakund. Wonderful. You did that when you went to India or from a picture?
That's from a picture when you're in India.
All right. Maharaj Shanta. Dandavats.
Maharaj.
Dandavats.
How are you feeling, Maharaj?
Oh, I guess I'm okay. Now, seeing you all, I feel better.
Your blood pressure is little down, Maharaj, now?
No, it's pretty steady. Joan contacted me again. She's not feeling very happy. People are not taking seriously what we have to say.
What she says, Maharaj?
Basically, that she tries to tell people, but they don't understand. They're not willing to change. Is she married? Has her husband with her husband?
Married. I think husband left or passed away, something like that.
He left.
Maybe he left or passed away, I don't know.
Oh,
No one with the husband.
she has some children.
Her daughter has some children.
Her daughter. Well, she has one child at least.
I think she has one daughter. We met those two, children when we visited her
Okay.
house.
Okay.
She's very attached to those two.
Okay.
Children. I'm trying to start the all in this live Maharaj. I'll take little 1 or 2 minutes Maharaj.
You got our book, Kanupriya?
Yes, Maharaj. I've been reading.
Okay. What did you think of the cover? That cover was made by Krishna Kesava Prabhu. Yes, that's it. Did you ever make a cover for a book?
It's hard to. I'm not biologist or chemist, so I have to read it very slowly.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
I'm getting through.
it's scientific, philosophical, and scientific.
Scientific, yeah.
So,
But it's good.
a little hard for people to understand, I think. And then Hegel is also difficult to understand in general. Uh, I don't know. Dhanyavad.
Can you?
Yes, Dhanyavad Somadevi.
Madhava Maharaj, and
Hare Krishna. What are you saying? Yes. No, Kanapriya, what were you saying?
I was just saying I'm enjoying. I'm on the chapter. I was with mind versus true reality. I really like some of the quotes that you've got from um, some of the philosophers. Really beautiful, actually.
Okay.
Maharaj, Janardhan Maharaj got the book, he told me.
Oh, when did you speak with him?
I speak with him last to last Sangha when Acharya Maharaj was holding.
I say.
I think on Janmashtami day. And he was very happy that he received it. And he's going to start reading that he was saying. And he was a little worried about the festival because the devotee who was supposed to come for cooking, he came from Mexico. And
Yes.
then there's some chance of, he was actually having corona.
Ah,
So he not tested whether it is negative or not, but some 10-15 days passed. So Madhava Maharaj was not convinced that whether he already cured. And then his mother was also chronic, and then they were also having trouble to allow her also because of this problem.
yeah. They're going to have, the devotees are going to come there?
I'm not sure they might have. No, devotees will not come for the prasadam preparation also, Maharaj, because there are very few people that staying inside temple. So, so he was thinking whether they can do that.
Ah. Dinabandhu is there. You know, we saw him.
I've not seen that.
We saw him doing the puja. Maybe you can get him to cook.
Yes.
There's so many cooks there. There are so
He
many.
was saying that many people cooking, is difficult.
I see.
Maharaj, can I share what Bhakti Vinod said about Plato and Veda Vyas?
Dhanyavad.
Teres, Hare Krishna.
See everyone.
Yes.
Listen to it.
Ochan?
Yes. We've not seen him from last
He said he was sick. So I don't know.
what happened. Some
Your camera is not on?
Maharaj, actually, this live streaming, so it did not allow me to have this video.
I see.
Sometimes it happens like that.
I see. All right.
Sometimes it allows, sometimes it does not allow. I don't know.
You have a good celebration this week.
Yes, a big celebration. We made a few special preparations. Tried to.
And Janmashtami, Maharaj?
Yes. I made some peanut brittle with
Oh,
with sesame seed and pistachio nuts and cashew nuts. What did you make? Made some idlis, I think.
Italy's and oatmeal raisin cookie.
Idli and oatmeal cookies he made,
Mango pineapple chutney.
and some mango pineapple chutney. Oh, we should have, yeah, we should have some people come over and we give them a dish at the door, and they can take it home, huh? Now, Krishna Kesava has given me a quandary. He wants to go back to college for in-person instruction, but then if they have the coronavirus there, then he can bring it home. Not only he gets sick, but I'll also get sick. So we're trying to decide how to do it.
Do you want to distribute, Maharaj?
Huh? What's this?
You want to distribute in the college?
No, he wants to go and learn. He's going to learn Hegel,
Oh, no.
learn philosophy.
Is the college is not giving online? These days they are doing it online.
Some online, and some in person. So online would be good, but they want now the colleges want people to come there also. They have to maintain their financial income, I guess. I don't know what the situation is, but they have to make a decision what to do. So I think we should do a kirtan. Who likes? Let me see. Shanta Maharaj, can you lead? Can you lead the kirtan? Let's see how this goes.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga. Nitai Gauranga Jaya, Nitai Gauranga. Jai Sat-cit-ananda, Jai Sat-cit-ananda. Jai Sat-cit-ananda, Gaura Hari.
Jai Guru Hari, Gaura Hari.
Gaura, Gaura, Gaura Hari. Gaura, Gaura Jai, Gaura Hari. Guru Deva Jaya, Guru Deva. Guru Deva Jaya, Guru Deva. Nitai Gaura Haribo, Haribo, Haribo. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Haribo. Jai Prabhupada, Jai Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, Srila Acharya Dev Ki Jai. Jai Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Jai Navadvip Dham Mayapur Dham Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Jai Ganga Mai Yamuna Mai Ki Jai. Jai Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Jai Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Institute Ki Jai. Jai Bhakti Vedanta Institute Ki Jai. Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Jai Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Jai Srimati Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Jai Srila Haridas Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Jai Jagannath Balaram Subhadra Ki Jai. Jai Go Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to all the worldwide devotees. Go Premanandi. Hari 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 Bo. Hare Krishna. Jai Santa Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Muni Maharaj, Vasaraj Prabhu, Kusum Devi, Kanupriya, Uma Devi, Taras Prabhu, Taras Didi Ki Jai. Jai Krishna Kesara Prabhu Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So,
You have Ekadashi Maharaj today there or?
yesterday it was yesterday.
Was yesterday. Raj, it is today.
Yours is today. Okay. And page 16, page 16.
No, Vandana?
Oh, Vandana, page is what? Vandana, page 38.
38.
38, huh?
Yeah.
38. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaisnavam Sa Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vasakanvitam Sa Om Magana Timidandasya Yananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Guru Shri Guru Parvarya Shri Guru Varga Vandita Mahabhavan Vivetaya Sada Purva Parya Parampara Pachalita Pragya Pamurta Krite Bhaktir Nirmala Nirjarhasya Nirvitam Samrakshakam Sadaram Vande Shri Guru Devam Ananta Shira Acharya Varam Dijam Gorvabhista Sapurakam Guru Ganar Ashisha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda Nipunam Sirupa Patananugam Govindabdidam Ujvalam Bharatanum Bhaktanvitam Sundaram Vande Vishwagurun Sadivya Bhagavad Premno Hi Bija Pradam Devam Divyatanam Suchandavaranam Balarka Chelanchitam Sandrananda Param Sadika Varanam Vairagya Vidya Buddhim Sri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatvanam Varam Vande Tam Subhadam Madhika Sharanam Nyashishwaram Sridharam Sri Siddhanta Saraswati Vidito Gaudiya Gorvanvaye Bhato Manuvira Prabhata Gagane Yogora Sankirtanai Mayavada Timigalo Daragatan Uditya Jivani Man Krishna Prema Sudabdi Gana Sukam Prabhu Prambhajet Namo Gorki Shoraya Bhakta Vaduta Mortaye Gorangri Padma Bringaya Radha Bhavani Sevane Vande Bhakti Vinodam Sri Gora Shakti Swarupakam Bhakti Shastragya Samrajam Radharasa Sudanidim Gauravaja Svita Sheshar Vaishnavaya Vanyavigraham Jagannatha Prabhamande Premabdim Veda Vaishnavam Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Panchatatvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Namo Mahavaranaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Guru Tritse Namaha Jayatam Surato Pango Mama Manda Matergati Matsarvasva Padambojo Radhamadana Mohano Divyad Vrindaranyaka Padumada Srimadra Nagara Singasanasto Sri Gandharva Srila Govindadevo Praise the Libhi Savior Manus Marami Sriman Rasa Rasamrambi Vangsivata Tatastita Karshan Venus Vanar Gopir Gopinatha Shri Sunam Vrindayai Tulosidevai Priyayai Kesavascha Krishna Bhakti Pradidevi Satchavachai Namo Namaha Atanatvam Hanta Kurun Bhagavatartadan Vyasan Jagat Karun Natva Tato Jayamudiraye Jai Sapadika Shishi Guru Gandharva Govinda Sundar Pada Padmanam Jayastu Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Shri Prabhupada Shri Gurumar Shri Gurudev Shri Acharya Dev Ki Jai Jai Giri Govardhana Ki Jai Jai Go Premanandi Hari Hari Hare Krishna. Okay. Now page 16. 16 Yasamati Nandana. Kusam, can you sing? You know Yasamati Nandana? Okay. Yasamati Nandana Pananagara Gokula Ranjanakana Go Gopi Paranadana Madana Manohara Kaliya Damona Vidana Amalla Harina Amiya Vilasa Vipina Porandara Navina Nagaravara Vangsivadana Suvasa Ananda Godadara Koyala.
Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara Sundara Nanda Gopala
Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara Sundara Nanda Gopala.
Yamuna Tatta Chavana Gopi Vasana Hara Rasarasika Kripa Maya
Yamuna Tatachara Gopi Vasanahara Rasarasika Kripa Maya.
Srirata Vallabha Vrindavan Nattavara Bhakti Vinoda Saraya
Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natavara Pakati Vinora Shraya.
Sumati Nandana Brajavaranadara Gokula Ranjanakana
Yasomati Nandana Vrajavara Nagara Gokula Ranjana Kana.
Gopi Paramvedana Madana Mohanahara Kaliyadamana Vidana
Gopi Paranadana Madana Manahara Kaliya Damona Vidana. Jai. Then page 45. Huh? Garbhastakam? Muni Maharaj? Do you know that one? Samsaradava Nanarida Loka Tranayaka Yunaganatyam. Paptasya Kayana Gunanavasya Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam. Kirtana Nitya Gita Vaditya Madhyan Manasoda Sena. Romanchakampa Sutaranga Bajo Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam. Shri Vigrahara Tananityanana Sringaratan Mandir Marjanado. Yuktasya Bhaktam Chaniyunjatopi Vande Guru Shri Charanaravindam. Chaturvidhatri Bhagavat Prasada Swadvana Triptan Haribhakta Sangam. Ritvaiva Triptin Bhajata Sadaiva Vande Guru Shri Charanaravindam. Shri Radhika Mat Aviora Para Madhurya Lila Gunarupa Nam Nam. Pratikshana Swadhanalolo Pasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravindam. Nikunjayono Radikali Sidaye Yayali Bie Yoktira Pekshaniya. Tatradi Daksha Rati Vallabhasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravindam. Saksharadi Tvena Samasta Shastra Uktastatha Bhavyate Vasadbi. Ya Priyeva Tasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravindam. Yasya Prasadad Bhagavat Prasado Yasya Prasada Nagati Kutopi. Jayam Subham Stasyaya Sastri Sandhyam Vande Guru Shri Charanaravindam. Srimad Guru Rastakam Etaruchar Pame Muhurte Patati Prayatnat. Yastena Vrindavananata Sakshat Sevai Valabhya Janasontae. Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva. And let's see, page 65. Kanapriya, would you like to sing the song of Nitai? Koti Chandra Susitala Ye Chaya Jagata Judaya Hey Nanitai Vinay Bhai Radha Krishna Paitina Drida Kori Dada Nitaye Se Sambandha Nahiyara Vrita Janma Gilatara Se Pashu Bada Durachara Nitai Nabalila Mukhi Majila Samsara Sukhi Vidya Kule Kikari Betara Ahankare Matahaina Nitai Para Pasariya Asatyera Satya Korimani Nitaya Karuna Habe Vrajarada Krishna Pabe Dara Nitaya Charana Dukani Nitaya Charana Satya Tanhara Sevaka Nitya Nitai Pada Sadakara Asa Narotama Baraduki Nitai Mora Karasuki Rakaranga charanera pasa. Rakaranga charanera pasa. Anytime. Then on Uma Devi, do you know the Vaisnava Thakur, page 58? A Vaisnava Thakur?
Yes, Lord.
Oh, thank you. Hey Vaishnava Thakura, Doyara Sagara, Idase Karuna Kori. Diya Pada Chaya, Shorahe Amaya, Tomara Charana Dori. Chaya Vegadami, Chaya Dosha Shori, Chaya Guna Dehadase. Chaya Sat-Sanga, Dehaye Amare, Pasachi Sangera Ase. Ekaki Amara, Nahi Pai Bolo, Harinama Sankirtane. Tumi Kripa Kori, Shadabindu Diya, Deha Krishna Namadane. Krishna se tomara, Krishna dite para, tomara shakate achi. Amita Kangala, Krishna Krishna Bali, Daitava Pache Pachi. I think. Amitangangala, Krishna Krishna Pali, Daitava Pache Pache. Thank you. And Taras, can you read English? Oh. Are they? That's Jaya Vaishnava Thakur, Jaya Vaishnava Thakur. Vaishnava Thakur, Jaya Vaishnava Thakur. Hare Krishna. All right, now, Taras, can you read the English?
Yes, sure.
Thank you.
O worshipful Vaishnava, ocean of grace, be merciful to the servant. Give me the shade of Krishna and purify me. I clasp your feet. Subjugate the six urges, rectify the six defects, and bestow the six good qualities upon the servant. Grant me the 6 kinds of good association. I have sat at your feet, desiring that association. Alone, I do not have the ability to properly chant the Lord's name. Mercifully, give me a drop of faith and bestow me the wealth of Krishna's name. Krishna is yours. You can give Krishna. You have that power. I am very stupid, calling Krishna Krishna. I run after you. I run after you in hope of attaining the wealth of Krishna. If you desire to give Krishna, you can give him. If you desire to give, you can give. Krishna is the wind of your heart. You have the power to give Krishna. If only you desire to give Krishna, you can give.
Jai Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. And what do we have here? Rasaraj Prabhu. Would you like to chant sing 105?
105, yes.
Amar Jivana Sarapapirata Nahika Punyara Lesha Parera Udvega Diachi Ekata Diachi Jivera Klesha Nija Shukalagi Pape Nahidari Daya Hina Swarta Para Para Suke Duki Sada Mitya Basi Para Duka Sukakara Hose Shokomana Ridima Himora Krodi Damba Parayana Madamata Sada Vishaye Mohita Ingsagarva Vibhushana Nidra Lasya Hata Sukarye Virata Akarye Udyogi Ami Pratista Lagia Sacha Charana Lobahata Sadakami Ehena Dojana Sajana Vajita Aparadhi Nirantara Subhakaya sunya saranartha mana nana duke jara jara. Vardakye kana upaya vihina tate dina kinchana. Bhakati vinoda prabora charane kare dukani vedana. Amara jivana sada papirata naika punyera lesha. Padero vega diachi ekata divati divera klesha. Jai Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. And then Krishna Kesava. Prabhu, would you like to sing Hari Harai, page 165?
Hari Haraye Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Gopala Govindaram Sri Madhusudan. Giri Hari Gopinath Madana Mohan. Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra. Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath. Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath. Ichaya Goshani Kari Charana Vandan. Yaha Hoite Vigna Nasa Abhishta Puran. Ichaya Goshani Yara Muitara Das. Tansa Bara Para Renu Mora Panchagras. Tandera Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanevas. Janme Janme Mora E. Janme Janame Mora E Abilas. Ichaya Goshani Yabe Vraje Kailavas. Radha Krishna Nitya Leela Karila Prakash.
Radha Krishna Nitya Leela Korila Prakash.
Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majia Mana.
Shri Guru Vaishnava Padma
Shri Guru Vaishnava Pada Padma Kari As.
Shri Guru Vaishnava Padma
Hari Nama Sankirtana Kahe Narottama Das. Hari Haraye Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitagora Haribo, 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 Nitagora Haribo. Nitagora Haribo, 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 Nitagora Haribo. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Gurudev, Guru Dev Jaya Jaya Guru Dev. Nitai Gaura Pramanandi Hari Hari Bo. Jai Sripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmala Charya Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Hare Krishna.
Anyone have any special topics they like to discuss? Huh? Yeah. Rasaraj?
No, doctor, nothing special.
Nothing special?
Everything is special.
Everything is special.
Everything is special.
Maharaj, will you carry on to read from Saranagati book today?
Yes, we can do that. What time is it now?
223.
2:23. Okay. So we're on page 23, I think, huh?
Yes,
Page 23.
Alright. Can I ask one question?
Yes.
What is the basis on which we can judge if something is pure?
What is the basis upon which we can judge whether something is pure? What do you mean by pure?
Pure meaning as free from material contamination as possible.
Pure as free from material contamination.
How would somebody who
So,
doesn't want material contamination because they don't know so much Krishna consciousness?
so that is explained. Anya Bilasita Sunyam. Karma. What is that verse? Anya Bilasita. Anya Bilasita Sunyam. Jnana Karma Dinaritam. Anukulena Krishnanu Shilanam Bhaktir Uchate. Anya Bilasita Sunyam. Anya Bilasita Sunyam. Without any desire, material desire. Anya Bilasita. Jnana Karma Dinaritam means free from jnana, desire for knowledge, desire for fruit of results, and also desire for perfection, yogic perfection. Jnana avritam, jnana karmadinavritam, anukulena, and that which is pleasing, anukulena Krishnana, that which is pleasing to Krishna. Shilanam Bhakti, this is what is known as devotion, pure devotion. Anya Bilasita, and without any desire, personal desire for sense gratification, for self-satisfaction, without desiring for, looking for knowledge, and to become knowledgeable of so many things, and only to know Krishna, and then without karma, without seeking some result for your activities, fruitive activities, and other things, other forms of yoga for controlling the senses, for getting some power, potency, whatever. All these things have to be eliminated, and then the positive thing is to want to please Krishna, Anukulina Krishna, do something favorable to Krishna, favorable to Guru and Vaishnava. Anukulina Krishnanu. That is bhakti. That is the highest form of devotion. That we consider pure. So if all those things are present, negative and positive, then we can understand something about pure devotion. That's what we're interested in. Purity, we're not interested in purity except pure devotion. Bhakti Ruchate. Higher form of bhakti, higher form of devotion to Krishna. This advice is given to us. How do you do those things? You have to be very sincere in your heart to avoid all those things, to check your own heart. What are you doing at everything? No one can be pure except yourself. You have to be, that purity has to come from within yourself. Check yourself. Of course, Guru is there, Vaishnava is there to give us some example. But ultimately, it's up to us. Check our own heart. What are we doing that for? I think we read this one. Yes, Maharaj?
I heard many times from some devotee devotional that they are told purity is the force and preaching is the essence.
Books are the basis. Purity is the force. And then what else?
Preaching is the essence.
Preaching is the essence. I said something like that. Books are the basis. Purity is the force. And preaching is the essence. So as much as you are pure, and pure meaning these things that I just mentioned in this verse, no gyan, no karma, no yoga inclination, no material desire, no desire for self-enjoyment, self-satisfaction. Then some type of purity may be found. And then there's a negative, and then the positive, wanting, desiring to please Krishna. Here we find here is a sincere, a pure devotee who's always thinking in terms of how to please Guru, how to please Krishna. A very important part. Somehow, if that's there, then the other things will come automatically. As soon as we get wrapped up in what I want to do for my own satisfaction, then the purity is finished. No such thing as purity in that case. So one who is genuinely Krishna conscious, who has Krishna in mind, that's the devotee. People have so many other things they think about, what they want to accomplish. And that's not devotee life. Devotee thinks how much he wants to please Krishna. That's all. And because we have no connection direct with Krishna, we try to please Guru. As much as we have that in our heart and that in our mind, we might be able to think of some how to get rid of any other things that do not have that center focus. And all those other things do not have that central focus. Karma, Gyan, Yoga, they don't have that central focus. Therefore, in the heart of a devotee, they are eliminated automatically. Not automatically, but they know. I have to eliminate these things because this is not to please my Guru. This is not to please Krishna. Not for that purpose. Then that has to be eradicated, rooted out. So for the sincere, it's very easy. If we're not, then so many other things will be there. Yeah, yes.
In the Saranagati, the 6 limbs, one of the limb is to have faith on Krishna that he will protect me.
Yes.
And then, generally in our Gaudiya Vaishnavism, we say that we don't approach God for protection, we approach Him for only pleasing Him. So then, how these two things are, can be understood and harmonized?
We're fallen souls, huh? So I think we're always thinking how Krishna can protect us. Otherwise, what hope do we have? So in our condition, I think we have to pray like that. I'm being attacked on so many sides from so many different directions in a fallen state. Then what else to do? We're drowning already. Not that we are in a higher position. We're in a lower position. We're drowning. When I get to that higher ground, then I don't have to think about that. But in the present condition, what to do? And even in Goloka, we know that in Krishna's pastimes, the cowherd boys, they were seeing this big mountain cave. You remember this pastime? They saw they saw that big mountain cave, and they knew it was Aghasura. They knew his was the demon that had his mouth open like a snake, and they knew it actually. But anyhow, to engage Krishna in some activities, they thought, let's go. We can go in there and see this cave. And what to worry about? Krishna is there. He'll protect us. We don't have to worry. So now, was that service or what is that? They wanted Krishna to show his powers, protecting his devotees. They had that kind of a playful attitude with him. It wasn't anything selfish that they were after. They wanted to engage Krishna in his pastimes of protecting his devotees. So it was a kind of consensual activity. Krishna wanted to protect his devotees, and the devotees wanted to be protected by him. This is some type of exchange, a loving exchange between Krishna and his devotees. So it's possible that one can have that kind of attitude also. But that's a very high conception, I think. Very high conception.
Also, I see Mahaprabhu's prayer, one of the prayers, I think two places. In one place difference is that in South India, he plays this Ram Raghava Rakshama.
Yes.
Oh Lord Ram at Ayodhya, please protect me.
Right.
And some other shloka also somewhere I feel where he prays for protection.
Uh, so that's possible. If the one who was dependent, I'm thinking of when Prabhupada came on the Jaladuta, he was praying, Krishna, if you want to kill me, you can do so. If you want to protect me, you can also do so. Huh? What was that in Bengali? Yes. Huh? He told like that. If Krishna wants to protect me, then nobody can hurt me. If Krishna wants to hurt me, nobody can protect me. And of course, it's kind of a neutral idea, but at the same time, it is ever depending on Krishna. Abhay Charan, his name is A.C. Bhaktivedanta. Abhay Charan, the A.C. stands for Abhay Charan, who is fearless at the feet of the Lord. It means fearless at the Lord's feet means he's always protected. He knows he's always protected by Krishna. Mhm. So it's possible to have that so much faith in Krishna, that there's no question that he is not there. There's no question of his not being present and helpful and whatever it has to do. A matter of realization. Who is not, who has so many other shelters, was thinking about so many other ways of protecting himself by having enough money, by having some friends, by having a good job, by this, that, the other thing, having a big bank account. They are feeling protected like that. That is not pure. But who has all his, what do you call it, eggs in one basket? Right? My whole life depends on Krishna and Krishna, and one is so fixed in knowledge. After all, God is everything. Huh? Who has so fixed in that conception? There's no question of not having the shelter of the Lord at every moment in one's life. Uh, so it depends on our realization in the end. If I'm feeling like that I have no other protection but Krishna, and to avert to a certain degree of realization of Krishna consciousness, 100% realization of Krishna consciousness. That's a very natural thing. Comes automatically. But for one who has some other interests, there's Krishna and there's other things also, then not pure, not 100% Krishna conscious. Then in that case, there may be some kind of non-Krishna conception, non-godly conception. Then it can become a problem. I don't know. That's the way I understand it, Maharaj. What do you think? What is your idea?
Yes, I was also thinking like that, because some places in Chaitanya Charitamrita also I see that some prayers, that when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that lion, will appear in my heart and kill all these demons that is there in my heart. These unwanted things.
Uh, Prahlad, Prahlad Maharaj was like that. No, he was always depending on Krishna's protection. And he was Shuddha Bhakta, huh?
that person owned an animal. He's taking care of the animal, but then he sold the animal to somebody else. He's not responsible anymore for that. So in the same way that the body is surrendered to Krishna, he's not responsible for its security. Krishna will take care of it. That's why he explained that way. It's Krishna's owner right now. So he will take care of that.
Yeah.
So that I think like it's not the kind of protection. It not belongs to me. It belongs to him.
Yeah, so that's a kind of that's why it's one of the limbs of surrender. Who is completely surrendered to Krishna like that, of course he's going to depend on Krishna's protection. And the meaning of surrender, I don't have any more shelter. You are my only shelter. I have no other. I had one aunt. She'd always told me, let go, let God. she, she was very nice. Let go, let God. She used to tell me. Yeah.
On Janmashtami, Srila Acharya Dev made the distinction between having faith that Krishna will always protect you and actually asking for him, trying to ask for something from him, ask him to protect you.
I see.
He made the distinction between the two.
So, did you hear that? Didn't hear that? Acharya Maharaj said that there's a difference between having faith that Krishna will protect you and asking Krishna to protect you.
It's a big difference.
If you have faith,
I feel like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him for protection.
yeah. He can take the position of a fallen soul. I think in the fallen soul, it definitely has to ask for protection. That's not a problem. And that's one way of surrendering to Krishna. If we are in the middle of the ocean drowning, then we have to ask for help. If we don't ask for help, then there's something wrong. Something wrong with you. You have to ask for help. That's if you're in a drowning position. And the only way you can get out is if there's some help. Coming from outside the ocean, somebody in a boat, they can help you. And somebody else in the ocean, they won't be able to help you. Somebody else who's drowning, how they can help. So somebody has to be out from the water. Then you can ask them to help. Or you can pray for their help. When we don't have that connection, we don't have that Krishna consciousness, then we have to ask. That is part of the process of surrendering. Necessary. The devotees, the liberated devotees don't have to ask for surrender. We're talking about surrender here. So that's only for those who are trying to come to that platform, not for those who are already surrendered into Krishna consciousness. So Mahaprabhu sometimes was teaching by his example with the fallen souls. And in that case, that is part of the process of coming to the plane of us, being a surrendered soul. Very beautiful in that case. When a devotee can do that, not considered a selfish interest. But of course, there's a pure state, and we know that also. Just like I said, Prabhupada's idea, and that if he wants to kill me, that's his prerogative. If he wants to save me, that's his prerogative also. And what am I to say? He is God. Who am I? Maybe come to that stage also.
Maharaj, in Bhaktivinoda Thakur's prayer, that also the same thing is told. Marobi rakhobi joicha tumar. Nijo dasaprati tuya adhika. You want to kill me? then up to you. If you want to serve you, up to you. You have full right on your servant.
Yes. I remember Acharya Maharaj told something like that to Govinda Maharaj, right? He told Maharaj, I am your goat. You want to cut my throat? Go ahead. Hare Krishna. I, I am your goat. You can do what you like with me. And look, Govinda Maharaj respected him so much. He had that kind of faith in Govinda Maharaj, and Govinda Maharaj had so much regard for him that he made him the next guru.
Can I make a quick comment?
Huh? What was that?
Can I make a quick comment?
Oh, Ingo. Yes.
Wow.
Okay. Yes, please.
You're talking about it, the person wants to kill you in time.
Uh,
Yeah, I don't think anyone should have the ability to kill someone else.
well, what can you do about it? We are all dying, no? We all must face death.
We'll die eventually.
Uh,
I
and who's pulse?
don't need to help that process.
At any moment, we may be killed. Coronavirus or somebody will come, and and if we and if every blade of grass, no greater blast can move without the will of the Lord, then if that happens, that's also the will of the Lord. And okay, okay, yes, but we believe that. We believe that it's up to Him, and it may happen anytime to any one of us, and He has to give that sanction. And so, uh, well, that's the way a devotee sees. Not everyone sees like that, but a devotee actually sees that Krishna is there. See, once you accept that there is God, that He is there for real, then you know everything is under His command. Then only. This is not a belief anymore. It's a conviction. Hmm? Uh, uh, you don't like that. Okay, that's right.
Maybe take you to a nice place, a nicer place. Maybe just get him to take you to a nicer place.
And that's the kind of faith that we try to aspire for. That whatever happens is by His grace, and we have no complaint about that. Yes. Okay. Well, that's the devotee mentality. Uh, just like Krishna Keshava said very nicely. Either you accept that there is God behind everything, or you say it's all happening by chance. Uh-huh. So we say God instead of chance. We say there's Krishna. That's a devotee's mentality. The difference. Those who don't believe that, I mean, I used to, even as a very small boy, I was always a little puzzled by the fact that my parents were very good Christians. They would go Catholics. They would go to church every Sunday, and they take us, and we had to go to the Catholic school, everything. and and I was always puzzled by the fact that these people believe in God, obviously, but they don't think that He's that important because they only go on Sunday. And the rest of the week they're doing other things and not even mentioning. And I was thinking, if there is God, then this got to be the center of our life. What more important thing could we have to think about or do? Something has to be done in that regard. And that makes it central.
Well, I definitely agree with you about practical. Very unique in this discussion. I definitely agree with you as well. So I definitely agree with you on that. My main thing is always leave room for doubt and discussion.
Okay.
There is no such thing as the thing that is better.
I see. Okay.
Actually, we have to see like there is no final step. You see a continuation of life. So it's not a final. If you don't believe in the soul, then it's like the final thing. It's difficult to accept that. But for the body that we think that is eternal, the soul is eternal, it's just a step. It's not like so important. Many times people burn, many times people die. It's one more. Yeah, just like that. Yeah, but what you're saying is then that's what diminishes it does. So when you say on your brother's life, it's not that important because you're living many lives. So why work hard and accomplish things in this life so many more lives in this life? That's the problem. Why should you work hard in this life to accomplish things that you things? Well, the next life is going to come around again and again. So I'll always be another chance based on that. I don't really have to work too hard this time.
Well, that's not what we think, or that's not what we teach. We think that this is our life now is very valuable because we can establish a relationship with God that doesn't get entangled in the world of thinking that, well, I'm doing so much this life and the next life I have a chance to do something more. No, that's completely absent from our kind of thinking. We're thinking I have a human life and I have some knowledge of God right now. Now, how to cultivate that to the highest extent possible. And we're not thinking about doing something else in a future life. If any future life is there, we think, well, how can I finish what I'm starting now as far as cultivating my consciousness, my awareness, my relationship with Krishna, my love for Krishna. That's the only thing we hope to do for many lifetimes if we have that. Because one who does cultivate that relationship with Krishna doesn't have to take birth again. The idea is not to take birth again and again. The idea is to get liberated from all this material action and reaction life and to establish one's relationship with God. And who can do that? He can escape the material creation and destruction and the rebirth that goes along with material existence due to karma. That's our philosophy. Anyhow, okay, that's basically the idea. Anyhow, that's our tradition, our understanding. I yes, yes.
Is the goal to not be reborn anymore because
No,
okay.
the goal is to become Krishna conscious. If that means we don't have to be reborn again, fine. If it means we have to be reborn again, then we want to be reborn in the house of a devotee so that we can continue practicing our Krishna consciousness. But the goal is not to get free from rebirth. That's a material desire. If Krishna wants us to be reborn again, fine. But as long as we can remember him. I remember when I was a kid, I heard this prayer. It said, one saint, he was praying, grant that I may love you always, and then do with me what you want. That was this prayer of this one saint, to his prayer to Jesus. Grant that I may love you always, then do with me what you want. Whether you want me to take birth again and again, that's up to you. But I just want to be able to remember you in each life. Huh?
So that is rebirth eternal, like it just constantly happens and never ends?
It can be. If we don't get free from this desire for uh, action for some purpose, it's called fruit of action. It's called karma. Karma causes us to take birth again and again. If you do something bad, you have to come back to be punished for that. If you do something good, you have to come back to be rewarded for that. Only if you turn your mind to the transcendental plane and you direct your life toward the transcendental world, then you can transcend the cycle of birth and death, called samsara. Huh? Huh?
He's saying coming back to this world to be rewarded sounds like a good thing to him.
Okay. Okay, you can have that. No problem. If you like that, you can get it. No problem. Yes.
such that we're doing a positive for the world and in using the self-suffering. If you want to believe in your God, whatever version of God you want to believe in, that's coming through you as a human being, right? That positivity of God is coming through you and helping you decide what's good and doing good in you. That's another way to look at it. So there's still could be an influence from whatever perspective of God that you believe in, but it's coming through you as a human being, and we are all human beings, and it's fine. That's all we have.
To some extent, that is true. No, you're right. Because we learned that Paramatma, God has these three aspects. Paramatma is the aspect of God that's in our heart. We're able to judge with our heart. We have our free will, we make decisions, and God is there to help guide us in our heart, no doubt. But um, more of what you're saying is like this, it's mental speculation, what we think. It's not so direct. Right? Most people who have doubt in God because they say, well, show me God. Because no doubt it would be very much easier to accept things if Krishna had come right before you and tells you what to do. But that's what Guru is there. That's what the scriptures tell us. That's what the soul tradition is based on, this succession of Guru-disciple. Because without that guidance of scripture and Guru in the proper way, not in the perverted way. There's definitely perversions out there, but no, the proper way, pure way, then it allows us to not rely on our own mental speculation, because still that would leave us to interpret, oh yes, God is telling me to do this, or God is telling me to do that, based on no other external evidence such as scripture or a learned person in this process, but purely our own mental interpretation of how we think things are going, how we think things are coming to us, etc. But there's no external verification of that. So it's both. It's internal, like you're saying, but it also has to be externally verified. It can't just rely on our own interpretation. There has to be some external means to come to the truth also.
Okay, 1 second. Shanta Maharaj, I know you wanted to say something.
Maharaj, in the line of this killing thing, I wanted to, I was remembering something that Sripad Maharaj was telling. I think it is there in the Loving Search for Lost Sunday. There was a king from France. He went to London. There was some World War situation at the time. I don't remember, First or Second World War, something like that. Then they make him visit all the good places in London, and they make him visit the prison house. And the king liked the place where they keep the capital punishment. That place integrates very much, and he wanted to see how people are killed by making a person killed there. Then the British people told him that it is not allowed in our law. Then he said that okay, I will give one of my men, you kill and show it to me how it works. Then they told also it is also not allowed. That our law doesn't allow that you will supply a man and that should be killed. Then Sripad Maharaj says this type of mentality to see somebody killed for one's own satisfaction is very bad thing. But from the point of view of absolute, that is perfectly all right because everything belongs to him, his property. So he can use it the way he wants. He has full right over it. We have no right because we don't own them really.
I said there's a law of nature, the law of this world that everyone must die. No one can escape Allah. And they say life is a fatal disease. You have life, you must die. there's no cure for it. You see, there's no cure. A fatal disease. So that is life. It is. We can't complain. We cannot complain. What to do? This is the way the whole thing is working. So to say that God can kill, He's already doing that. Actually, in the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna brings up this argument. He says, "How I can kill these people?" Huh? He had to fight. He was a warrior. He had to fight and kill his own relatives, his own cousins, and so forth, because they were taking the side of the Kuruvas, the people who wanted to bring ungodly civilization to the world, and Krishna wanted to bring the godly civilization to power. So war was necessary. They tried to do some diplomatic relations, but the Kauravas would not budge from their position. They wanted everything, and they did not want to give the Pandavas anything. So anyhow, Arjuna was a very good man, and he's thinking, I don't want to kill anybody, especially relatives and things like that. And Krishna looked at him and said, look, I'm telling you to do this because this is for the righteousness, to establish righteousness in this world, because the future generations, they are also important to me. And the future of the world, I wanted to go in the right direction, not in the wrong direction, then the whole thing will be completely destroyed. So you'll have to fight this battle. These people have to be killed because they won't accept any reasonable arrangement. Then I'm ordering you. And he said, look, I've already killed all these people. They are my. This is the nature of the world. I am already doing that, and not a big thing to order you to kill or to. I'm not telling you something I'm not doing already, and not already the law, not already happening. So don't worry about that. You are following my order, and my order is supreme. It's already happening like that, and you are just the instrument of that. Something like that, he told. So killing, we make a big thing of it, of course. It's important, especially when we think of our own life. But as far as the general law of this world, it is a necessary part of life, of our own life, everyone. So if we say that God is in charge of that, what is the harm? It's a fact. Uh-huh. He has made the laws. He is a lawmaker. If he wanted everyone to live, he would have arranged it that way. But he says that our life is not in this world. Our life is in his world. That's where we can find real life, in the spiritual plane. And that's why we want to live. We want matter doesn't desire to live. Matter is already dead. It's the influence of spirit in matter that causes us to want to live. But we're confusing, just like the example is given of the fish. Fish can live very nicely in the water. As soon as you take him on the land, he has some problem. He starts dying. So we're like that. We are spiritual beings, but we're put in this material world. Spiritual beings live forever, but in this material world we die, just like the fish out of water. Out of the spiritual world, we're in a position where death is certain. So don't stay and on the land. Go to the water. Go to the spiritual
What
plane.
about
Yes.
like Puri? I know. I think Shantamara told another story. I think it was. Maybe you can explain it better. You know, with the analogy about the material world being a prison. So that the king had a kingdom and he went to the prison house. Everyone was fighting there, demanding things. Shantamara, do you remember the story?
Well, I can remember which story.
I'm sure you've mentioned the story about the prison house, the kingdom. There was a king that owned the prison, owned the whole kingdom. There was some problems in the prison. He went there.
Oh, yeah.
Many of the inmates were arguing and demanding things. We're not happy about this, and he's got half it. I haven't got a life. I don't have this. We don't have that. This is not right. That's not right. You can tell the story. It's nice.
Yeah, actually, one king Maharaj is generally told by the Vaishnavas, we heard in Navadvip many times, that there was a king and he used to go out to see that, time and again, everything is going on nicely in his kingdom. When he goes out, and he sees very big noise is coming from the prison house. And when he is close to the prison house, then he sees that all prisoners are fighting around each other. Then the king shouted at them, why you are all fighting? I will punish you all. And they become afraid and they become silent. Then he asks, what is the reason? Why you are fighting? Then they say that, I don't have rice, and somebody says I don't have nice bed, and somebody says that I don't have nice television or something like that. So many things they were telling. Then king was in very good mood. Then he told, okay, the minister, please supply whatever they want. Then everybody, of course, this thing I need, that thing I need. And one prisoner was not saying anything, he was very silent in one corner. And king noticed that and asked him, "Why are you silent? You don't want anything?" "I want it, but can you give that?" He said, "What? Yes, I will give it. What do you want?" And he said, "I want to go out of this prison house." Then king was in good mood. Then he released it. The purport is that we want to have some good life in the prison house, in this material world, but we are not thinking about how to go out of this prison. That's the thing, that the story tells.
Ah, very nice. All right. So here in this verse that we were going to read, I think it explains all these things also very nicely. He says, "You want to read this?" Huh? Yes. All right. Read that. Abhayamrita Datritvam Cha.
Shankar
So there. The who surrenders to Krishna, they get immortal life. This is the way of getting immortal life. Where all everyone wants to live. Why settle for 100 years or 50 years, whatever you live here? That's the one thing. But to get immortal life is possible also. That is the soul. Soul. Theoretical. Okay, you can say that. That is what the scriptures. That is what the scriptures tell us. Well, but then I think there's a way of understanding this. Huh? Just like I say that the material world is dull matter. Huh? Dull matter doesn't have any life. Yet somehow there is life also mixed in with this dull matter. And it's the places where life is present and not only dull matter, that things are active. We become active and we start living and start doing things, moving around and so forth and so on. That's due to this, not due to dull matter, that's due to some kind of another energy, the living energy. So the living energy influences the dull matter and makes it move. Just like when you get into your car is just matter. But when you get in there, it starts moving. It goes in different places. So the same thing with these bodies. They're just chemicals. But when the soul is there, then it can do different things. So that, to me, is evidence that there's some kind of other force at work in our lives. Hmm. Uh, okay. Good.
Something may happen, something may not happen.
Good. Well, I hope. Yes. I hope you can. I hope you get a lot of followers, and you can preach your doctrine to them, and maybe convince them. At present, we don't believe that. We don't. We don't think that way. We don't think that. Okay,
It's very sad.
that's your understanding is, and I appreciate that, and I honor that. But I don't hold that same idea, and we don't all hold that same idea. That's the difference between us. It's okay. There are differences between us, and there's no problem with that. But your understanding of things and other people's understanding of things are not exactly the same. So, for instance, when I read a book, I don't only consider it some conjecture. I think there's some intelligence there, and they're saying something that should try to be understood. And I do try to understand those things, and it makes sense to me. And I can see things in a way that the book may be telling us. I see it to be that way myself, and that's how I do. That's how I form my ideas of what's real or what's not real. You obviously have a different way of doing that, and that's all right. I don't think everyone should be the same, and we aren't all the same. We all have different understandings of things, and from my point of view, I think you're doing very well. You know, I think you're gradually coming to understand things in a different way than you started out, and however long it may take you, that's up to you. And whatever progress whatever you're going in, whatever way you're going, I hope that you will succeed. And maybe one day you might even come around to seeing things the way we do. I don't know. Huh? But I doubt I will be going to your direction because I've already seen things that way.
The reverse might be true, right? As you consider my way, you might see some reality in that also.
Okay, good.
Because
Maharaj,
Yes.
reality is what that's right.
one thing I want to do with you. Suppose our all senses are made, non-functional. So suppose we don't have eye functioning properly, we are not functioning. All the senses that we are thinking that world that we are seeing, then what kind of world that we are observing? A person from the birth, if he don't have any senses working, then what kind of world that he can observe? So at present it seems that we maintain some sensory world as the only world. But if you withdraw that, there is another thing that we are experiencing. That is something to do with the mind. And is it possible to go beyond that? There is some another world is there. All those things layers. So why not we are thinking like that?
Yes. All right. So I think there are many different ways of seeing things. That is one thing that Srila Maharaj always would tell us, is that everything depends upon your angle of vision, how you are seeing things. Huh? Just like if there was a big diamond in the sky and somebody was looking at it and they said, "Oh, look at that big blue diamond." And from another angle, somebody is looking at, "Oh, look at that big red diamond." And another one, look at that green diamond. Another one, look at that yellow diamond. Because the different faces of the diamond show different colors. So reality is like that. It's very multifaceted. And everyone is looking at it, the same reality, but in a slightly different way and seeing things slightly differently, therefore. But it doesn't mean that there's two realities or three realities or multiple realities. There's one reality. And everybody's looking at it differently, that's all. So we don't have to say that anyone is wrong or anyone is right. We see it in different ways. That's all. And maybe one day we may see two people may see it in the same way, or three people, or so forth, and so on, and recognize it. Really, our position is like that. We see there are many facets to reality. And it's not that somebody is right and somebody is wrong. They're all right. Huh? But to see that whole, some people are only focused on one facet. That's not good. I mean, from my perspective, that the whole, again, that's part of the reality. We have to live with that. But those who can see the whole for what it is, we have some progress. And we try to see that. What is that whole of which we are a part? That gives us all these different phases or facets for people to see. Hmm? That's all. Not a, huh?
A lot of this is we base things on our personal experience.
Yes.
So, and everybody has a different experience, everybody has a different perception, and we're all allowed to feel that way or do that way. And I definitely believe that there is a higher power. We are not in control. As you were saying earlier. And I think part of it, when you can release, we can't control, we just can't control it. We can control what we do, how we act, how we affect others, but we're not in control of everything, right? And even that, who knows what motivates us and moves us, we react to something inside of us. But I feel like when you realize you're not in control, I feel like there's a sense of peace. You just understand that there's a higher power out there, and if when we accept that, I feel like there's less of a struggle. Um, just be the best person you can be. Because I think what we're locked into when we talk about materialism is that we want the house that we live in to remain something we can stay in. You gotta earn money. You want to drive a car and go places, you gotta earn money to keep it. So we're caught up in that material stuff to maintain the quality of life that we want. So I think that is what makes things difficult. We can't just, like right now I'm having a great summer in my garden, but I can't just do that. It's like we still need money to do things. Even for you need money to survive. That's why you go out and fundraise. So we're still caught up in some kind of materialism in order to survive. How are we not? How do we not do that?
Well, that's the secret. If we can learn those secrets, that is a great thing. How to do that, huh? How to turn our life into a spiritual life instead of a material life. Even though we have to deal with money and responsibility and all those things, it's possible to do that in a spiritual way and not in a material way. And sometimes, we're surprised at how it works. Actually, I am surprised at least because I'm thinking, how is it possible? Uh, I don't take the normal course. In my life, I did not take the normal course of getting a job and making a living and all that stuff. But somehow, still, I'm doing it. I'm living okay, and doing so many things that I would have never dreamed of doing. So how it's all happening, I can't really tell you. But I know that there's some change that we make in our heart and our mind, and develop that faith in God and Krishna and in Guru, and then everything changes. What can I tell you? You make a little change in your heart, then everything will change. They say when you are to shoot a rocket, if you're off, say you want to go to the moon, if it's awful, if the angle that you're shooting the rocket is off a little bit, then the rocket will go past the moon and maybe hit Mars or someplace else like that. So you make a little change in your life, and the future of your life will change completely. That's the idea. It won't go in the direction that you had aimed it for, but it will be very nice. You may even reach Vaikuntha or Goloka. Means the spiritual world. Anyhow, that's my experience. Anyone else want to say something? Okay, my dear devotees, you're also very nice, all of you. Very happy that we can spend some time together Very and make us very happy just to be together somehow, talk about these things. And I hope you all stay well, safe. Nandavat, Hare Krishna.
Puri Maharaj ki
Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Nandavat Maharaj. Nandavat. Nandavat. Nandavat.